Hello, my name is Germana Ravanelli. I have been lucky enough to be in the fitness industry as a paid professional for 30 years. And I'd like to share some information with you to inspire you to learn how to look after your body, how to prevent suffering, how to prevent premature aging, how to just basically increase the quality of your life. And the topic that I'm calling this YouTube clip, which is something I'm going to do more of, is the big fat lie. And I call it that because I realized when I got involved in the fitness industry over 30 years ago now, that I was really looking for solutions to questions and struggles that I was struggling with. I was a little bit overweight. I was always struggled with my weight, always low self-esteem about my body. Always thought I had to be super skinny, and the insanity about that is that even when I was super skinny or skinnier, I believed it was never enough. So I became a fitness leader and taught a lot of classes and thought I would learn a lot about nutrition, and took the standard training and was incredibly confused because there was so much conflicting, competing information. And essentially, I, like you, ended up probably doing things incorrectly, not realizing they were incorrect or that they were causing me suffering and pain until I had been doing those for years and years and had suffered the consequences of that, and then through a series of coincidences sort of ran into something that I tried for myself and then shared that with my clients. What I discovered was most of what we're taught about food, about nutrition, is paid for by the corporate interests. Most people don't realize that, but if you take even a look at the Canada Food Guide, it's always, so many servings of this, so many servings of this, so many servings of that. And then when you meet someone who is a registered, not to be rude, not to be mean, but a registered dietitian, they often don't look too healthy. They're often morbidly obese. They often are practicing what they're taught and it's not working for them. And one of the things that I've always vowed is that if I look at something, I always do it for myself to see if it's true. And if it's true for me, if I actually get positive results, I choose to share that with people, because my reputation and my future hinges on my credibility and whether I'm actually able to help people or not. So when I was quite young, I got into the fitness industry, and I thought that, if I did what I thought would be helpful, eat a lot of tofu, eat a lot of brown rice, become macrobiotic, exercise for hours and hours and hours a day, that I would have easily become thin. And to my great surprise and disappointment, I became quite obese. I put on 40 pounds, and I actually end up with a disordered eating pattern, and it was really devastating to me, because I am a woman. I want to feel comfortable in my body. I want to feel comfortable buying jeans and putting them on, and I was living in sweatpants because I was really uncomfortable and really unhappy. And I really just at some point thought, it must just be because I'm German, that European thing. And I've come to discover years and years later that 95% will say of what we're actually taught that's supposed to make us healthy is actually making us sick. Most of it is paid for by corporate interests because they actually do control part of the education system. They put money forward to say we want this to be taught in the curriculum, and those corporate interests are often very wealthy families that are behind everything, and they actually own big sections of the world market. And then if they're telling us what we should be doing or what we should be eating, then their business goes up, and we then become part of the harvest of people that get sick. And all that you need to do is look around and see how many people have diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, chronic pain, depression, and suicide, and so many other things that are now commonplace. People are sick, and the question is why? I had this debate with a friend not too long ago, and my thinking is a lot of it is mass hypnosis. People are afraid. They don't know how to break out of the programming. They just sort of follow, and people are afraid, and then they're eating foods that unfortunately strip nutrients from their body and make them weak and make them crave more food, and then creates, you know, this whole cycle, this weight loss, weight gain, exercise more cycle. And what I discovered after I had a really bad car accident about 5.5 years ago was that I was willing to do pretty much anything to improve the brain function for me, because I had had a concussion. And I was lucky enough to find a woman who was a nutritional therapist and also a neurofeedback therapist who had been doing these things for about 20 years, who was sharing extensively on the effects of food on the brain, and primarily the prefrontal cortex, which is the frontal portion of your brain, and that most of the foods that we're taught to eat in excess actually shut the blood flow, the percentage of blood flow to the prefrontal cortex of 25%. And I'm thinking to myself, if I can get back that 25%, that's going to give me back what this accident took away from me. And so I made a vow that I was going to be my own guinea pig, and I took that same program with me, and I went to my 2-week vacation. I go usually in December for 2 weeks to Cabo San Lucas. I followed the program with a few aversions, and I came back very, very strong, very grounded, very clear-headed. So I felt very strong. I knew I felt better. It was a really interesting shift for me. But the part that shocked me is I'd lost 18 pounds of fat. That was the kind of pounds of fat that I would have had to have dieted and done cardio like crazy for 6 months and been a sobbing mess to get that 18 pounds off. And the most interesting thing is I've kept that weight off, and it's been about 4 years now. And so as a result of learning that, and it was easy, and it's wonderful, I save a lot of money on food, and I also simplify what I buy, but the quality of my overall health has gone up exponentially. And I was able to put on jeans that I used to wear when I was 18. So those jeans that I left in my closet, I could put them on and they were baggy instead of I couldn't get them past my thighs. And I don't exercise a whole lot, you know. I used to when I was younger, but as I've gotten older and as I've run into injuries, the body simply can't take those loads the same amount, and I only have so many hours to expend. So I decided I would share this this program as a nutritional therapist, and I became certified as a certified nutritional therapist through the Nutritional Therapy Association. And I'd start to share the same model with my clients. And what I'd found is I'd had a handful of clients that lost over 80 pounds. People that were dieting since they were 11, since they were tortured, told that they were fat or bad. You know, by the time I met them, they're like 100 or 50 pounds heavier than they would like to be. And then, you know, they lose 80 pounds or they lose 70 pounds or they lose all the weight. And then I see them a year later and I don't even recognize them. And, you know, they often say, you know, save my life, that I saved their life. And I was like, well, no, I didn't save their life. I shared something with you that really worked for me. And so what I'm asking you to consider now is, are you happy with your weight? Really, honestly happy? Do you realize that most people over the winter get the flu, they feel bad, they're not kind of getting what their body needs, and they often put on up to 16 pounds over the winter of pure fat. Now, I don't think anyone wants that. And then the question is do you want to sleep better? Do you want better brain function? Do you want to feel and look 10 to 15 to 20 years younger without doing plastic surgery, without spending a fortune on all these gimmicks and lotions and potions? Because if you answer yes to those questions, I encourage you to contact me. I have a nutritional therapy model and nutritional therapy program that has saved children from being kicked out of school because I'd helped them get the essential fats that their brain needed, so their brain was getting what it needed and they were no longer overreacting with being hypersensitive and short attention spans. and I've saw whole families adopt the program, and the amount of peace and harmony that they then experience is, you know, marked and shared with gratitude. But it's really about, if you really want to learn how to, number one, feel better, feed your body so that your body's being nourished, not stripped of nutrients, and know what's real about healthcare in the way of food, and that it's not coming from a government agency. And that might sound harsh, but what I've discovered is a big percentage of what the government tells us is what they want us to know. And it may be true for some people, but if you look at the amount of people that have gotten sick, chronically overweight, chronically unwell, depressed, anxious, insomnia, a high percentage of these symptoms can be directly linked to diet. Now, I want you to get as much fun and pleasure out of your life as you could possibly get. What's interesting as well about the model that I teach is cancer tumors cannot live in an environment that is nourished, where the body is using fat for fuel primarily. Most of what we're taught teaches our body to be a sugar-burning machine, not a fat-burning machine. And once you're taught how to flip your body from using sugar as a fuel to fat as a fuel, cancer cannot continue to grow. And again, cancer it's gone out of control. It seems every week somebody I know is getting cancer. Every month I'm going to a funeral where someone's died. You know, it's tragic, it's a loss. We can't help those people now because that's happened, but that doesn't mean you can't help yourself and your family and the next generation, because that's what we're talking about. So please, if you have curiosity, question, please, I encourage you to contact me. My name is Germana, Germana. My website is www.germana.ca. My business name is Heart Consulting, and you're welcome to call me at my office number at 250-591-5327. And one thing I will tell you about the nutritional program that I teach and that I offer is, if it doesn't work for you, if you don't get results, I promise to give you your money back. And that's a whole lot more than a program that charges you $400 a month, or a program that has you on stimulants, like another magic program that the client's been given over $360 worth of supplements to stimulate their body to burn fat each month that they can't afford. And those stimulants actually harm the adrenal glands in the body. So when that person goes off those pills, they're going to crash and they're going to put all that weight back on. And the thousands of dollars that they spent is lost. And they'll feel like they failed, but they haven't failed. The model of knowledge and the system that they've been given is designed to create dependency. My purpose is to teach you how to prevent that kind of suffering in your life, how to feel good, how to lose weight without having to diet or count calories or count points. I welcome you to call me. I welcome you to give me your feedback. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.